In this video, I'm going to talk about how you can file your taxes for free for the first time on TurboTax. Or if you're not even new to TurboTax or not new to taxes in general, you might actually learn a thing or two about how to get the maximal refund possible this year. So first, I'm going to be assuming that you're employed and you're not going to be receiving a W-2 from work. I'm also going to be assuming that you'll not be claimed as a dependent on someone else's taxes, which means you're not going to be claimed from your parents on their taxes. And then we're also going to be going over a high-level overview of taxes and talk about how you can use these tax forms to do your taxes with this online software. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Chase and this is a painting pictures guide to personal finance. Hope you get some good information from this, and we're going to jump right over to the TurboTax website. Okay, so once you go to the TurboTax website, that's going to be turbotax.com, you're going to see a page that looks similar to this. Now, they might change the pictures and the orientation a little bit, but for the main point of it, you're going to be looking at this website, and you're going to want to look at the very top and look at the options that you can do for your taxes. So TurboTax has been integrating other options and other features that are been really good for new people getting into their taxes, but they are giving you option to do your taxes with an expert. You can do it for yourself. If you are a business, that you can do a small business taxes with them, and then they do give other options moving forward. For this particular video, we're going to focus on doing our taxes ourselves because we are strong and capable people, and we're able to make good, intelligent decisions and be able to do our taxes through this online software by ourselves and have a better deal that way. So what I would do is I would go ahead and hover over the do it yourself, and then you're going to go down to do your own personal taxes. So when you do that, it's going to pull up a screen just like this, show you that you can file your own taxes with confidence because they do give you a max refund guarantee as well as 100% accurate calculations guaranteed. So that's pretty awesome. So what you're going to need to do then is go ahead and click the Start for Free button, which will then pull up a screen that looks like this. So this is where we're going to go and further clarify what our taxes are going to be accomplishing and what we did throughout the year. So we're going to select all that will apply to our prices, and that will then adjust the total price down here for the TurboTax by itself, to your own taxes, the live assisted, and the full service. So basically all this is doing is trying to funnel you to one of their more paid services so that they can make some money. But let's still talk about all the things that we would particularly be doing our taxes when we do it online. So pretty much everybody's going to want to go over here and click the I want to maximize my deductions. So right there, it does actually increase your price, but if you were to keep that at $0, then you would be paying $0. But we do want to maximize our deductions to ensure that we're getting the best deal on our taxes and make sure we're doing it appropriately, so we will click that one. Anybody with a job income, it will have a W-2, and so I'm going to go ahead and click this because that's what the average person watching this video will have. I will not click the unemployment income because I'm expecting that people have a job during this tax season. So we're going to skip that one. And then the next two are going to be pertaining to if you are renting or if you own a home. So this will depend on which forms you can do and which deductions you can do. And if you have a home, then you can potentially have deductions associated with having mortgage interest deductions for the standard versus the itemized deduction. And then you can also add to those deductions your property taxes. And there's a few other things that kind of go into that. And for the average person out there, I am going to click I own a home. All right, next you're coming down to look and see if you have children or not. For this one, I'm going to say that we do. And then you're going to go over to the donated charity one, which most people, they do donate to charity, whether that's through a local organization or through their church. And so I'm going to click that one so that we did that. This will affect our itemized deduction depending on how much we are going to be donating to charity. And then so I sold stock or crypto. Most people out there are going to be doing that. When we do click this one, it does increase the price. So look at that. So when it goes from 59 up to 119. So just keep that in mind. The more that you do, it'll require additional forms, which is why they increase the price for your online services to make sure that you're keeping everything in track. Owning property, it's not a very common thing. I'm not going to be doing that one in this video. Freelancer and gig work, there are some things that people are doing online nowadays. And so if that's the case, you would click this one. But for the average person, we're not going to click that one. I'm self-employed or independent contractor. This one does not pertain to this video. I want the tax expert to review my return. So if you want to do that, it is going to point you to this live assisted version. Well, they'll be able to review it to ensure that you have 100% accuracy. But we are intelligent people, and I think that we can do our own taxes and input the numbers correctly. So we're going to stick over here with the original TurboTax value one. And the last one is going to be, I want a tax expert to do my taxes. And that one's actually going to push you over into the full service bracket over here. And it's going to be recommending that you move forward with that one. And then you just give them the documents and the tax expert will do it for yourself. But if you're going to do that, then you would just go back to doing it at a local branch, giving their information, and then having them do it. So at that point, it's really not that much of a difference if you're picking this one versus having somebody else do it. So for us, we're going to start with the TurboTax, do your own taxes. This does say that it's going to be $119, but for the seamless process of it, I do think it's worth it to move forward with that. Now, if you're interested in doing your taxes all for free, there are other ways to do that. I'm going to talk about that at the end of this video, so stick around for that. So we're going to go ahead and click the Start for Free button right here. And that's going to bring us to a page like this where we're going to sign in. You're going to need to go ahead and use your email, create a user ID, and a password, and the phone number to verify that you're not a bot, and then that will allow you to log into your account. Now we're going to jump over. I didn't make an account for this, so I can show. So we'll jump over to our account now. All right, so once you log in, it's going to give you a series of questions where it's going to ask you your name, as well as some other identifying information to help prepare the appropriate forms and documentation for your taxes. So once you log in, it's going to ask you about your marital status. So we're going to say that we're married, and then you're going to look and see if any of these additional things did apply to you, which will affect your tax return moving forward. We already discussed that we're going to add a child dependent. We also discussed that we haven't owned a home. But if you are a college student in a family, you pay rent, or you're retired, then you're going to click one of those. We'll move on. It's going to ask you some other questions to ensure that it's giving you the appropriate fields for you to fill out. So it's very seamless, just to keep in mind that you can go on here and you can fill your taxes out, and it just gives you pictures and things to click on to see if it does associate with you. So for your job, that's your W-2. For your stocks, most of your investment platforms are going to give you a 1099B. And if you did do some crypto sales, you'll click that one right there. But overall, we're not going to do that one. If you had a bank account or high yield savings, you'll click this one, which most people do. And then for dividends in your stocks, that one would be associated with it as well. And your company will be giving you a 1099 dividend. If you did have a rental company, which we said we did not, a self-employed retirement plan withdrawal, or income from digital payments, then that would be clicking here. But overall, that does not pertain to us. I do recommend clicking the show more to be sure that see if there's anything associated with this, but mostly that is going to be associated with some unlikely people. And so if you are one of those people this does associate with, then I would go ahead and click that. And there's more going on down, but all of these are less likely. But just to make sure, I would go ahead and click on them and see if it does pertain to you. You're going to click next, and then you're going to tell us about your stock sales. Next, this one is going to be talking about, are you new to investing, or have you been doing it for a while? For this one, we'll say, yeah, we're pretty new at it, and we'll click down here, and it's going to give us the next option to do or manage your stock investments. And that would be, I buy and sell my stocks, I use a robo, my financial advisor manages them, or I manage them another way. For most people, they're going to buy and sell them themselves, and so we'll click that one. It's going to give you a bunch of different options that you can use, but basically you can automatically import them with a lot of the big name people out there like Betterment, Fidelity, Robinhood, and it's going to auto-populate that information in there, and you won't have to do anything besides just double checking that it's correct. So it's going to go back through, and it's going to give you all of the information that you've already put in, and you're going to just make sure that that all is correct. And when you do notice that, then you'll go ahead and click Great and keep going, and it's going to pull it all together for you. There's only do that. I would worry about doing that later. Let's move on to getting all of our documents inputted and moving forward with the whole tax process. So we have all the information pulled forward. It's going to tell me exactly how long it's estimating based off of what you have already said that you need to accomplish on your tax situation. And for us, it's going to be about an hour and 42 minutes, which is pretty good. So they'll give you a step-by-step process to help you cruise through it, as well as they'll allow this time to check for accuracy before you file. So I do appreciate that. It's going to go back over all the information that I've already placed, and you'll just continue through the process. You'll put your social security number in. So it's pretty simple moving forward this, and it just click through, and you're just going to fill out the information as it gets closer to your situation. So the My Info, I would just go ahead and fill that out and then move on down to the federal return, where we can look and see focusing on the wages and the incomes. So pretty seamless. Click on adding your income, and you want to find other income. Did you have investment losses that gains in the prior year? This is pertaining to taxable income of investments like stocks that you have bought or sold that can offset your potential taxable income by up to $3,000. For this case, we're going to say no because we did not sell any stocks. And then you'll look and see, did you retire any money from the retirement plan? And that one is a no. Did you own or control a foreign bank account and trusted financial? And that's going to be a no for most people. And then you'll move on. This is going to be a pretty similar question for any type of investment account out there. And then you'll see that it lays out that you had a job and a W-2. You'll have the self-employment. Sometimes it does this, and you'll just have to remove it or add it. And then, because we're not doing any self-employment income or expenses for this one, and then investments. So all your 1099 in interest accounts, your dividends, your 1090Ks, and your crypto, that will all go in this area. And then you'll click next. So that covers all of the income. And then you'll be able to click over to the deductions and the credits and find all the tax breaks that are associated with your certain situation. Now, it's going to ask you a couple different questions to see if any of this stuff will pertain to you, which is not as likely. Or if you made any tax payments, did you make any car registrations? We'll say no for this one. And then, or you making any student loans? Because that's going to be a deductible based off of the interest that you're paying on the student loans. And it's just going to run through all this situation to see if it is pertaining to you. Most people out there will be contributing to their IRA, so I would click yes for that one. And based on your answers for these, we'll determine if you meet any deductions or credits based off of what you previously said and these questions right here. So we did talk about having a home, so that'll be a Form 1098, which will go over your mortgage interest, and that will be part of your itemized deduction. Your property, real estate taxes will also go into that. Donations to charity will add into that, and then your traditional and Roth IRA contributions, depending on what you put in, will be able to add up to the total number of itemized deductions. Now, this will all depend on how much you are, how much it adds up comparatively to the standard deduction. Whichever one is going to be higher, that's going to be the deduction that you move forward with. Once you fill all that out, you'll then move to other tax situations. It'll go over some less likely situations that might pertain to you that you would then move forward with, and it'll ask you a bunch of questions. And based off of those, will lead to either additional forms or questions that they need to do. And that's going to be the bulk of the federal return. You'll just go back, you'll confirm all the information, and then based off of that, you'll be able to go forward with it. And then it's going to give you this option to check my info, and that'll double check and make sure if there's any issues, it will then adjust those. Depending on your state will determine if you need state taxes versus your federal, but that's going to be very similar, and you're just going to put in the same information. You'll prepare by the state based on which state you live in, and it'll just run you through the process. And then finally, at the end, you'll do a review where it'll check for accuracy, and then it will tell you if there's anything that needs to be adjusted or if anything looks weird, and then you have the option to file. Now, you can file all online, and that's what I would recommend doing, and it will then allow you to do that electronically and actually speed up the process for your tax return, depending on how fast and how accurate your tax return is. And one thing I do want to note is up here at the top left, you can actually see how much money you're going to be getting returning based off of your total income and your deductions and other tax situations. It does it in real time, so you can see how and what you're adding in there will lead to a higher or lower deduction depending on what's happening. I do like this Explain My Taxes because it gives you a step-by-step explanation of what's going on depending on what forms you put in and what numbers have been calculated out. In the end, it's a very simple process that you can use. It's going to walk you through in a step-by-step process that asks you questions, and you just plug and chug until you're done. Now, for most people out there, it's going to be very similar, and I would recommend using his tax software like this so you don't have to worry about all the headache and all the other paperwork and snail mail and all that that's associated with just filling them out yourself and mailing them in. There are other options online like TurboTax that are completely free, but it will depend on your current situation. And that's what I was talking about at the beginning of this video. If you're interested in something like that, we do have a video that goes in depth into how to do your taxes for free with the online tax service. That way you don't have to pay any taxes, any money to do your taxes. If you're interested in that, then I'm going to put a video right here that goes in a little bit more depth. I hope this video was helpful for any of those people out there that are a little bit newer to taxes, that are online using their taxes, TurboTax software. And as always, if you're interested in more videos like this, we would highly recommend you to subscribe and like these videos. Put that little notification bell so you can get more information like this. And as always, I want to remind you that we are here from your first penny to your first million. We'll see you next time.